It's party time in Bengaluru, but oops, all the bars are shut. Damn those early deadlines. But anyway, they're going to be celebrating anyway in the Chinnaswamy Stadium, around the Chinnaswamy Stadium, because the Royal Challengers Bangalore have brought up that win in their first game at home. I'm Gaurav Kapur on Cricbuzz Live, with me, Joy Bhattacharjya and Simon Doull. Gentlemen, they're going to be very happy here. Remember last season, this ground, they could not win a lottery if they bought all the tickets. Suddenly, they've got a win, a good win. They'll be happy today.
Well, they'll be happy today, and three really positive performances for them. One, definitely UMESH. UMESH is emerging as a match winner for them. That's important to them. I thought Kulwant Khedrolia got away with his 4 overs, and therefore proved this. I mean, everyone was looking askance at him that is he going to be able to stand up to it.
Yeah.
And the third is that Washington Sundar had a good spell, and he's vital for them just for the balance of being an all-rounder. Then came at the end, smashed a couple of fours, finished off the game for them. So 3 big positives from them coming out of it, and obviously AB being in form. It's not news anymore to anyone that AB is in form as a T20 player, but just
and takes it straight to the end. A word on Washington Sundar's batting, Dolly. India and even with Pune last year didn't see it much, but today, from what you saw, even a couple of balls, looks like a mature head on his shoulders and some ability as well. With the
good player, and he opened the batting at youth group cricket, so he's a decent player. I just like him as a kid. He just, I call him a kid. I mean, we're a bit older than he is, a little bit older than he is.
He's at least 10 years younger than us.
Exactly. But he's a good, confident cricketer. I think he can be a genuine all-rounder, which I like about that. The bowling spell tonight was really, really good. Just for the RCB, a little bogey off the back. They had to find a way to win. It wasn't a pretty win.
Yeah,
you call that an ugly win?
Yeah, scrappy.
They didn't do it. They didn't do it in style with 2 or 3 overs to spare. It was a little bit scrappy. It was a little bit fighty, but they got to win, and they will garner some confidence from that moving forward. And I've tipped them to be in the final 4 this year.
Yeah,
and I think that's a performance that will just start the ball rolling a little bit, give them a bit of confidence. 5 bowlers used in both sides tonight.
Yep.
Just 5 bowlers used. So the Kings 11 didn't bat their full complement. They missed by 4 balls.
Yeah.
And then RCB won with 3 balls to spare. So you bat your 20 overs out, you never know.
Yeah, you never know. You're going to get there. Let's have a look at the mini card for just a second. Let me tell you that it was Virat Kohli who won the toss. No surprise again. Decided that they are going to chase. The Kings 11 put up 155. Well, you can safely say that RCB restricted them to 155 after first flying 3 overs. And it was UMESH YADAV who was the star there along with Washington Sundar. And then RCB getting there with 3 balls to spare. And a word, Joy, on the Kings 11 bowling effort, because that was a decent bowling effort, wasn't it?
But that's exactly what I wanted to say. What I really liked was the fact that he had limited number of cards. Like, in a poker game, you get cards. He had limited cards. He just got 155 on the board. He played those cards well. Just for this game to reach the final over means that Ashwin did an amazing job of shuffling his bowling. We thought they'd play 3-4 overs of spin. They actually had 5 overs of spin. And many would turn around and say that
in the power play,
in the power play, and many would say that why would you be have Mohit Sharma finish? The point of it was he held it off. He kept playing with his best options and stretching the game as long as he could. If you tried to hide Mohit early on and he got hit, the game could have been over in the 17th over.
Yes.
So really, he played his cards really well. What he has displayed is he is, as a captain, a worthy opponent and somebody who really makes really good use of resources. That'll stand him in good stead.
He's astute, isn't he? I think I like that about him. And where are all you people? You people, huh? You didn't want QUINTON de Kock in your team. You didn't want him. 45.
That guy, right?
45.
Those guys.
And
those guys watching it there.
What about that catch?
You guys.
Parthi Patel. You want a Parthi Patel in the team?
Patel.
Hashtag where's Quinny?
Yeah, but listen, QUINTON de Kock played really well today. I think the reason why people were saying that is because they want to see Grandmom in the team. They'll say, not Grandmom. That was on my Instagram story. Grandom. Colin de Grandom they want to see in the team. But there you go. QUINTON de Kock got 45 runs today. And they turned out to be very worthy, especially after Brendan McCullum went out first ball. And then that MUJEEB delivery to Virat. Oh, my sweet Lord.
Ball of the tournament.
You saw my face when I saw it, right?
You had the expression you had was as if you saw Elvis had suddenly returned to the building with the Yeti and Marilyn Monroe in another arm. What's happened?
Oh, that's a great analogy. I love that analogy. But what a great delivery. And to Virat, one of the best batsmen in the world right now, if not the best to fox him like that.
Reads spin generally very well, Virat Kohli. Plays it a lot off the pitch, but I think he reads it out of the hand well. He gets forward a long way. He gets deep into his crease. That's why he
uses
plays
the crease
spin
brilliantly.
Very well. He uses the crease as well as anyone in the world, I think, at the moment. But it was undone by an absolute cracker. And you love it. He's a young kid.
Yeah.
He's a young kid. I mean, he's got a lifetime story to tell, MUJEEB now. And he will have a lot more of those sorts of days in cricket. But 4 overs tonight, 11 dots, just 29 runs, and 12 of those runs come in his last over with 2 sixes.
Yeah.
So he'd bowled a really nice spell up until that point.
1 second, Virat has given 2 lifetime moments to 2 bowlers already in 2 games, one to Nitish Rana, and one to MUJEEB. You'd have to say that the MUJEEB delivery is slightly better than the
Nitish Rana won't bowl another ball.
He might not bowl another ball in this tournament.
He won't bowl another ball, and he's got Virat Kohli and AB de Villiers in 2 balls.
In 2 balls. That's it, we said. He's done. He's retired. He's not bowling ever again. What about that young leg spinner? We were just talking about him, R. Ashwin.
Young leg spinner.
Leg spinner. Boy, this guy is, we said astute captaincy. Obviously a really astute mind as well too. It's not early in his career, but suddenly he's developed something which is...
there's one more thing I have to say, and maybe I'm on this trip right now, is that Sarfaraz Khan walked into the pitch. He walked in about 70 yards. He probably had seen that there was a slip standing out there.
We were all baffled by that. That was not a shot to play if you had...
Unless he was giving catch practice, which happens before games, not during games.
Correct.
Because he went, thank you.
Yeah. I remember the first question I turned to the 2 of you and asked is, did he not know that there's a slip there? Because that's just, it didn't make sense. And I know, Dooley, you're also extremely upset
if it
by
was
the
a
lack
plate of food, he'd have seen it. I'm telling you. Can I say that? Probably not.
I guess you have.
Anyway, and it'll be replayed anyway.
He wouldn't have hit the ball into it.
No, exactly. He would have seen it there. But that's the silly thing about it. He must have seen it.
Yeah.
He must have seen it. So to play that shot, Ashwin's leg spin, it's a tell. You can tell when he's going to bowl it because the action is slightly different. It's a bit more like Anil Kumble.
Yeah, he just
but it doesn't get up there like the normal one. It stays down. But he's developed this delivery that is completely foreign to what he's done all his life.
Yeah.
And that's the talent of this guy. And he can bowl it now to the right-handers. He can bowl the off-spinner to the left-handers. And take the ball away from both. So he's developing his game at a late age, which is just unbelievable. I think that's a real credit to what he's doing and also to his captaincy tonight.
Yeah, and we have to talk about Sarfaraz. That over, of course, of Ashwin, we'll show you what happened in that over, because Ashwin today was really on song. It didn't matter to him that there was only 155 that they were defending. But there you go. It's a 1 run and 2 over wicket, which... you may see that in a test match. In T20 cricket, that is gold-plated platinum.
Absolutely.
Yeah, with plutonium. Joy is not checking his Twitter. He's on his Cricbuzz app right now.
No, I'm just looking at the fall of wickets, and that was the over. It was the 11th over, the 12th over, and QUINTON and Sarfaraz, they're big wickets. Really, he pushed them. He made them reach a stage. With 155 on the board, the one thing we were saying was, it'll either finish off, either it'll get all the wickets or it'll finish off in 16th, 17th over. It didn't happen. It didn't happen thanks to that man.
Yeah, and of course, it was bound to happen for RCB thanks to AB de Villiers. When there's either AB de Villiers or Virat Kohli, they both are the big rocks standing in the way of your victory. And today, even though Virat went early, AB did not. And AB, of course, took them almost till the end. He had won the game pretty much for them before Washington Sundar came and sort of did the formalities. It was 57 runs at 40 balls. And he's got a 142 strike rate, which, considering the chase that he was going at, this actually is, a 200 strike rate if they were batting first, isn't it? Fair to say.
Yeah. And the way he played it, he took it to a stage where all he needed was a couple of sixes, because by that time they're close enough that for 2 sixes may change your run rate, asking run rate from about 10.5 to 7.
Yeah.
And 3 sixes in
3 balls, pretty much 3 balls,
3 balls, 3 sixes, 4 balls, 20 runs, game was over.
Yeah.
And it was so clinically done. There's nothing you can do about it if he's in that kind of form. He knew what he was doing. He knew exactly when he wanted to attack. And that's a great thing about AB. He can choose to attack. Suddenly you'll see him moving around a bit more.
Yeah.
Suddenly you'll see the stance change. He knows, okay, this is the time I'm going to take these chances. It's not hit and miss for him. So, finishing is an art. And he's taken that art to a different level.
And he took MUJEEB on as well, which I think is a calculated move.
Yeah.
He went to the youngster and he thought, okay, what have you got now?
Yeah.
I'm going to have a go. I'm going to have a go at you. And he hit the first one reasonably well, and the next ball was short. MUJEEB, he dropped it short, just went back on the back foot, straight over long on. So he knows when to attack and who to attack. And I think when you're looking at who to attack, that's just as important as when to attack.
We're
Take the young kid on.
We're talking about Ashwin being astute as a leader and a captain when it comes to batting and again the chase. Virat, AB, two of the most astute minds when it comes to chasing.
Yeah, absolutely. And Virat is another great of the chase, but Virat often chases and bats deep. Very often he normally sees more balls when he's chasing, because even in a 50-over match he sees 70, 80, 100 balls.
Yeah.
Here AB very often is stuck in a situation where he has 5, 10, 15 balls to sort of get into the chase. So as a constructor of chases, especially as a constructor of 20-over chases as a finisher, I'd say, AB is even a notch above Virat.
Yeah, big call, huh? Big call.
Yeah, I think that's fair, though. I think we've seen that. Kohli's got 300s at Chinnaswamy. He's a great player in this format of the game, but I think you're right. And the time that AB has to bat is often in the last 7, 8, 9 overs, and he times chases very well. Yes, he didn't get them home tonight, but he all but. I think Matthew Hayden said he made sure all the office paperwork was done before he left for his holidays.
Correct. He just isn't close.
But he also said that. I mean, post-match, he did say that he was very sorry that he didn't take the team home. But as you're right, all but. And just, a word on like what you're talking about, him dancing in the crease. He's twinkle toes, isn't he, Dooley?
He is. He's a great mover. I mean, you see that in the field.
Yeah.
And the thing about AB de Villiers, when you hear him talk, this is what I love about AB. At the age of, 33, 34, you hear him talk with the passion that he loves to play this game. He loves to play cricket all the time. He loves the IPL. And the passion that he talks with about the fielding and leading the way and the fitness side of things for him is, you've got two guys there in AB and Virat Kohli who just breathe and eat and sleep fitness.
And I'm hoping will inspire Sarfaraz.
That would be nice.
Yeah, and can I say it? And it's again a big call. I feel the RCB dressing room will be better off without a Chris Gayle there. Not because Chris Gayle by himself is a particularly disruptive figure, but when you have somebody who's a really big player in a dressing room, but stands for not completely the values that young players should be emulating, they're in a situation where you don't know which way to go. And I think that, the dressing room would be better without Chris there.
Yeah, you've mentioned that. You mentioned that a couple of times because you need people like Virat and AB who are putting a premium on fitness, putting a premium on training, putting a premium on staying passionate even though they've been at the top level for so many years, and that's what it takes to be one of the all-time greats and to be so successful. Let's have a look at the points table now and how it is stacked up after game number 8. We still have SRH sitting pretty at the top. Looking very, very strong are SRH. Now remember, there's been 2 games for each team. You want MI and DD to pick their chins off the floor and get going. You have a big MI game tomorrow, a big support for them. It's the ESA game. That means they get about 30,000 kids in there, underprivileged children, to support them. And you've got the emotion of that and the goodwill and the karma of that somehow. It feels like sort of wind beneath their wings. But just at the top there, you gotta get a word in for just how strong SRH is looking, Joy.
I just have to say they're clinical, and remember, you still are in a situation, most of their batsmen haven't really fired as yet.
Yeah.
Because the first one, just Dhawan and this thing just took them through. And in their second knock, they had a major hiccup in the middle. Only really Deepak Hooda has fired, Dhawan has fired. So, they're winning without a lot of the middle order. Yusuf hasn't fired. Manish Pandey hasn't fired. Shakib hasn't fired. Kane hasn't fired.
Yeah.
And they're all potent weapons. So they're without. And did you notice that they finished this thing without having Bhuvaneshwar in their ranks?
Yeah.
And their bowling didn't look bad at all.
Yeah.
So it's a scary thought.
Plenty of choices. The problem of plenty. So, the clashes that we have tomorrow, we have 2 games. It is Saturday, so that means Super Saturday on the IPL means 2 games. The first one, people have been talking about this for hundreds of years. Which city's better? Is it Mumbai? Is it Delhi? I was born in one, grew up in one, now live in the first one again. Well, I'm not going to take a call. The Mumbai Indians playing the Delhi Daredevils at the Wankhede Stadium. That's the afternoon game, and of course both teams need a win. They both really need a win. They're at the bottom of the table and they would not like to be there. One side has Gautam Gambhir, who doesn't like being at the bottom of the table, and then there's Mumbai Indians, 3-time winners, who are just not used to being there. Or perhaps are used to being there in the beginning of the tournament every year. So maybe they're not too rattled about it. They're like, what is it, game 4, time to wake up and win the next 10.
There's only been one season where they've actually jumped out of the starting blocks and been quite good, but every other season they're slow starters. They just find a way to lose games early on and then pick it up at the back end. Can they do it this year?
I don't know, Mumbai fans don't seem to be too worried after 2 losses.
See, there are only 2 teams who have actually gone down 0-3 and gone on then afterwards to make the playoffs.
KKR?
No, KKR not from 0-3, they were 0-2.
0-2.
One was RCB in 2011 with Chris Gayle coming in. If you remember, Dirk Nannes got injured. They didn't have Chris Gayle. He got injured, came in. And the other is Mumbai, who actually lost 4 in 2014 before sneaking through. But remember, that's 2 times out of 10 seasons. So whichever team goes down 0-3 tomorrow, and one of them is going to be 0-3 at the end of tomorrow, they're going to be looking up at a very, very long rise out there.
And if it's Delhi, I mean, where do they go to? Because they have changed. They've changed everything. They've got a new coach in there. They've got different players.
New captain, same results.
If it's Delhi tomorrow and they're 0-3, they just don't know. They don't know where the next win is coming from.
It doesn't help that the last time they came here, they lost by 146 runs. 146 is the largest ever margin.
And in innings as well, wasn't it?
It could have been in innings as well. I mean, you could have had the Delhi attack come in and say, okay, bat again. You know, in those games you say, friendly match, bat again. No problem.
Just go ahead, try a second time. It's not going to happen. In an afternoon game, no one's telling anyone to bat again because nobody wants to field twice in the Mumbai Heat. The second game that's happening tomorrow, let's have a look at that as well. The action will be in Eden Gardens, Kolkata, where the KKR have table toppers Sunrisers Hyderabad, and this is a big test for KKR because as we discussed, that SRH is a great team, though in previous years SRH has not beaten KKR at the Eden Gardens. It's 6-0 in the favor of KKR at Eden Gardens, but again, different team, different year, different season.
Nice shirt, by the way, Doull.
Thank you.
Really nice shirt.
Well, I'm going. I had a friend message me from home, from New Zealand, asked me for some tips on the horse racing for tomorrow, because I've got a few racehorses, and I said I got no horses, but I said back Mumbai and Kolkata tomorrow. Take a double tomorrow. Mumbai,
so you're already calling for tomorrow, huh? Because you're not going to be here with us tomorrow.
I'll be doing the Mumbai game tomorrow. I'm on ground tomorrow doing the toss. So you'll see me there. But I've gone Mumbai Kolkata tomorrow.
Yeah, my thing about, of course, remember the last time Kolkata smashed SRH, I think the biggest victory was in 2014. But the man who scored those runs was a certain Yusuf Pathan, who's batting on the other side. Pathan will have a point to prove. Manish Pandey will have a point to prove. Shakib will have a point to prove. And all of them know this pitch very, very well, the Kolkata pitch. So it'll be interesting. I don't see it as much of a... And they're a calm team. They're a team who's not going to lose their head easily. They've won 2. So they're coming from a position of confidence. I'm going to say SRH has a really good chance tomorrow. If they have to break this, losing streak, this is the day.
My only question to you is: are you going to be wearing a purple shirt tomorrow?
It just depends on how fast you can get it.
I can get it laundered. I can get it laundered. And
yours is a nice one, Thank you.
You can get it laundered. There's going to be Joy sitting like that. We've got a producer, Ajit. He's young. He can do it.
What you're not going to see me...
He's like, what? I signed you checks. I'm not going to do that.
What you're not going to see me is an orange shirt, and that's no reflection on the team. It's not me.
You're not going to be wearing orange tomorrow.
I'm not Navjot Subbhi. I can't carry it.
But I have the most important news of the night to declare.
Who's won?
It's very important to Simon Doull, who the man of the match is. Yesterday, he told Harsha, you're going to be at the game. Make sure batsman doesn't get it.
Correct.
In a 155 game with both teams putting in a top bowling effort, you'd expect and you'd hope.
It's got to be a bowler.
And you'd think that a bowler would get it.
It's got to be UMESH YADAV.
But...
No.
You're not giving it.
Unhappy ending.
No,
cut to close-up of Simon Doull, please. Cut to close-up of Simon Doull.
Funeral music.
Quickly, there you go.
It's not AB de Villiers.
Okay.
Tell me
and now, the man of the match is... Drum roll. UMESH YADAV! Yeah!
Well done, Harsha. Well done.
Oh, there is a God, and God is a bowler.
God is fine.
He deserved it. He deserved it.
Absolutely deserved it. Rock-star performance today.
3 wickets in an over. That's equal to 100.
It is.
It's a game changer.
Game changer. Absolutely.
It's equal to 6 sixes at least. It's equal to 12 sixes in 2 overs.
Now we're getting really complicated. 3, 6, 12, 14. I think you're just trying to confuse us with your numbers.
Look at that.
I just try to confuse you guys because Joy is such a number master. Well, there you go. That's 13 dots bowled by a fast bowler. He's probably got it for that big kick as well. I mean, look at this kick that he's done right here. And 3 wickets in 1 over really broke the back of any aspirations that Kings 11 Punjab had of a mammoth total and got them down to 155 in a very small ground and not the kind of batting surface that you saw in 2017. Don't confuse Chinnaswamy. No. This is the Chinnaswamy of 2016 and the years before that. This is going to be a run feast. Today it was just UMESH Yadav, Washington Sundar, all the bowlers from RCB who really sort of pulled it back, and then the Kings 11 bowlers as well. So I think the bowling units from both sides will take this, take a lot of positives out of this. One, of course, more than the other. So we've got 2 games that we're looking forward to tomorrow. But before we go, how can we forget the joy factor? Yes, we asked that in the pre-game. We sort of ran tight in the mid-game and didn't bring it up again, but we're going to bring the question up again. Maybe give a 30 seconds of discussion as well so you get more answers in. Hashtag Cricbuzz Live is where you can tweet your answers in. So, well, even if somebody else has answered it already, just go for it. Give it a shot. Let it be etched in marble that you gave the right answer. Joy, over to you. Professor Joy.
The question was, and we were a bit nasty out here, because the basic question was that if Sarfraz Khan played for the RCB before his 18th birthday, which cricketer has represented RCB before celebrating his 16th birthday?
Oh, I got an answer. Yep. Easy. Shahid Afridi.
Shahid Afridi is the correct answer, as you said.
Well, listen, any age-related question, Shahid Afridi is a good go-to guess.
But yeah, he couldn't have played that because he was too busy playing the under-19 that year for Pakistan.
So, Joy, there was a key word there. Celebrating.
There's the trick.
Word.
There's the wrong
trick.
one.
There's
trick. Joy's Ashwin equivalent of the leg spin.
Yeah, and actually we were nasty because the person in question has not played for RCB before celebrating his 6th birthday.
So he's not even celebrated his 6th birthday. There's somebody. Is he a 5-year-old? No, he's not a 5-year-old. It's talking about his 6th birthday. Now, when do you celebrate a birthday? But in once in 4 years is when your birthday is on the 29th of February in a leap year.
Absolutely. And the man who was born on a leap year in 1996 on the 29th of February was Sean Abbott.
There you go.
Sorry, 92 it was. 92. Yeah.
Which means that he has actually celebrated only, let me count it, 96, 2000, 2004,
No, not even 2000. 2000 also doesn't count.
Doesn't count.
You don't get 28th February in the 100th year.
Oh, you don't?
No, you don't.
Sir.
So it's
wow, see, you learn something new every day,
96,
Professor Joy.
2004, 2008, 2012. Basically,
I was too young in 2000. I was barely 5 years old. I don't remember. I was really young back then. So which means he celebrated only 5 birthdays.
Yeah.
Sean Abbott had celebrated only 5 birthdays because his birthday is on the 29th of December of 1992.
February.
29th of February, I'm sorry, 1992. And the winner of this is... drum roll, Aniket. Well done, Aniket. You've given us the right answer. He's got a 007 in his name, so I mean, come on.
He has a license to answer.
A license to answer, he does. And what do you win? This gorgeous red table. I told you you're going to win this.
You know what you remind me of?
What?
In the 1920s, there was a man called Victor Lustig.
How old were you in the 1920s, Professor Joy?
No, there's a man called Victor Lustig in 1920 who managed to sell the Eiffel Tower twice.
Yeah.
And he kept selling it and said, government is giving it away, they're buying it for scrap. Yeah. And twice he made some 500,000 francs in those days by selling it. How many times are you going to give it?
First up, Victor sold that to me. The second time he sold it to me, I flipped it for a 25% profit. Yeah. Soon afterward, and then moved on to the furniture business.
I actually think it's nailed to the ground.
It is.
You can't even get it off. Oh, no, it's not. Yeah. All right.
Jesus.
Mine! This is mine!
I think he wants to take it.
It's mine to give away. I'm going to put my feet up on it while I say goodnight to you, just to show the people here who the boss is. Well, okay. Jokes apart. We will be giving you this table at the end of the season, but right now it's time for us to go.
Why do I not believe that?
You believe me? Q Halo, you believe me. Well, thank you so much, gentlemen. It's been super fun with you here today. Dooley, you're not going to be here tomorrow.
No, not tomorrow. And Bangalore on Sunday, I think, for another game. 4 o'clock game Sunday.
Will you be back here with us?
I'll be back next week.
Next week you're back?
Next week, I think.
You're looking at Ajit, the lion.
I'm looking at the man who knows everything about everything.
Yeah.
And tell him, I think 18th? Yeah.
He nods.
I got a nod from the corner. We'll go with the 18.
So what you don't know is that there was a famous Indian villain in the 70s, also called Ajit, who was also known as Lion. He used to say, Sara Sher mujhe Lion ke naam se janta hai. And he used to put his feet up on the table, much like I'm doing right now. Okay. And in one very popular movie, his one shoe was 7 and one shoe was 8. Or was it 8 and 9?
No, it was number Lion, number 9.
Number 9.
So it looked lion from the other way around. No, number 7.
Number 7.
Which looked like lion when it turned around.
Turned around. So those were his. So that's who we...
Kalicharan, huh?
Yeah. Was it Kalicharan or was it...
Kalicharan, the horrible film.
Yeah. Where have we gone, by the way, with this? Is this Cricbuzz or Bollybuzz? Like, what's going on?
I know.
Right? But it's good. See, we just rounded up completely, and around midnight, we go a little crazy. It happens to us. It's fine. But tomorrow, when we come here at 3:30, we're going to be all sane. We're going to have our vitamins, our greens, and we're going to be all very intelligent. Well, at least the guests will. I'll try my best. Scientifically impossible, but we will. So, Simon Doull, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Indian lead Schreiber is where you are now.
Go.
Get a few more bowler man of the matches.
I will. I'll make sure that man of the match tomorrow is a bowler.
Yeah.
Who do you want it to be?
From the winning team, that's all.
That is not a good question to answer.
Dangerous question to ask.
That's not a good
Dangerous question.
The last time that question was asked, somebody went behind bars.
Okay, that's right. Talking about bars, it's time for us also to hit one of them. So we're going to go now. As you can tell, it probably looks like we've been there already, but we haven't. So from Leaf Schreiber and from Steve Martin, from both my guests here today, thank you so much for being here. And from me, Gaurav Kapur, it's good night. We're going to see you tomorrow at 3:30 on Cricbuzz Live.